Good morning. Good morning, one and all. Welcome to Haiku Friday, October 9th, 2020. Are you guys ready for some haikus? Well, why don't we do some haikus then? We have a couple from our pal Steen to kick things off. As always, his haikus are lovely and funny. And away we go. Falling from the sky, gray and dizzy spiraling, ash aphids return. Yeah, they're out there. They're so beautiful. And I don't know if you've ever got one stuck in your teeth or anything, but they're kind of a blue color, at least the ones I've encountered. It's weird. They're like this little bit of sky captured in an insect. I don't know. Thank you, Steen, for that cool one. Another one from Steen. The hens scratch and peck in harmony. Girl gang or synchronized swimmers. And yes, I've seen your chickens. And yes, sir, they do look very much like synchronized swimmers. They have almost, when you think about those starlings that are up in the sky doing their crazy stuff, the chickens seem to have the same sort of like-minded movements, which are fun to watch. So thank you, Steen, very much for those lovely, as always, haikus. And I'll be seeing you soon. I will be seeing you soon. All right. Here's one from our pal Rico-san. And kind of a conciliatory note, I guess. I must change my ways. Sympathy for the devil, now a worthy trait. Oh, I don't want to interpret anybody's haiku. But to me, what I'm hearing in this is that perhaps you're seeing that people are now feeling sympathetic to the architect of many of people's deaths, President Trump, and that he caught the COVID virus, which he did not really do much to rein in because that would have required movement. Movement is risky, politically risky. He could have done something that upset his cuckoo base by doing that, having people wear masks and whatnot. But that's what I'm reading into it. If I may, to me, the devil would be President Trump. You are the I, and you're saying that you must change your ways and start having sympathy for the devil. And really, actually, a devil straight out of Central Casting, right? I mean, if there was somebody like President Trump as a character in a movie playing the Antichrist, people go, that's just way over the top. I mean, come on. But we have it, and people who now brand themselves as Christians, which is an interesting twist on Christianity, at least historical Christianity, have fallen in line behind this devil, which is really interesting. So, all right. Boy, I am very political this morning because we are less than a month out from something that's going to be horrible no matter what the outcome is. If we do get rid of Beelzebub from office, then if that happens, then we know that his minions will rise up. They've said so. And he said he's not going to go either. So, and to tell you the truth, if there were I can hardly blame him because there are so many, unless he works a deal out, so many things he could go to prison for right now. I don't think we've ever had a president so desperate to stay in office. So maybe they'll work out a deal where they won't prosecute him for some of the stuff. I don't know. Anyways, so all this has been weighing heavily on my mind, and I'm sure it's weighing heavily on yours, no matter what side of the political spectrum you are on. This is a worrisome time. I mean, on the other end, I've had people say, oh, if Trump wins, and I think he very well could win. I thought he was going to win last time. and we're kind of in a similar spot. So if Trump does win, the people on the other side of the spectrum worry about people taking over, or the Antifa people who who these my friends on the other side of the spectrum see them as some, I don't know, some sort of organized force, much like their Proud Boy militia Nazis. But so they worry if Trump wins, then the anti-fascists are going to burn everything down. So they're worried too, even though that's a very silly worry, given the history of the two groups. But, I'm not here to denigrate anybody's worried, because I'm worried. But you know what I did? I'll tell you what I did. And here we go. I'll start it off with the haiku, referring to what I did. Disaster looming. Neighbors intervene, cheering, "You should make cider." So I went on the Nextdoor app, and I know a friend of mine, John, had talked a long time ago about going to a lot of these abandoned apple trees and harvesting them that he's found kind of in the wild. And I thought, well, there are so many apple trees in this town that go unpicked, because in Spokane, the apple maggots are terrible, and they just chew up the apples. Unless you spray heavily, you're not going to get good apples off of your tree. I would say they're good apples, but they're not perfect apples. And so a lot of people don't pick the apples because you got to kind of pick through them. And so I put out a call on the Nextdoor app, which I've only used, is it Nextdoor, Neighbor, whatever it's called. I've only used in the past to actually do pranks with, to just sort of say, like one time I said that I found a can of beans in the street, and if somebody would help identify the beans, I would return them, just to kind of get a conversation going. And so people riffed on that for a while. That was pretty fun. So this time I put out the call saying, hey, if you've got apples that you're not going to use in your trees and you'd like me to pick them up rather than them falling on your lawn or in the street, let me know. I'm going to make some cider. And so I had an overwhelming response. It was crazy. Not only did people let me pick apples from their trees, and I met some lovely people, and it made me feel so much better. Gave me a lot of hope for no matter what happens in this election, that there are so many good people. I am surrounded by so many good people in my neighborhood. Some people, not only did they let me pick from their trees, they had bags of apples ready for me when I got there. Or I even had this lovely couple drop off, I'm going to say probably 100 pounds of apples from their daughter's place in Idaho. And these were lovely, lovely apples. And so I'm guessing probably about 200 pounds of apples. And tomorrow I'm going to press these apples into cider. I spent $60 and got a cider press. And it's so tiny. It's about this big. And so I'm going to be at it for a long time. And I think Aiden and Natalie might come over to help me with it tomorrow. But I'm going to take these apples and I'm going to turn them into cider. That's what I'm going to do. And be forewarned, if you get any cider from me, it may have some worms in it. But, so does some of the finest tequilas, right? The mezcal. So take that to heart. All right, so that's what I'm saying, is that my remedy throughout this time has just been to stay busy making things and painting. And the only time it kind of sneaks up on me is at night, when I am not able to do things because I'm exhausted in bed. My brain kind of starts worrying about things. But hey, we'll always have Haiku Friday, right? I mean, I may not be able to be married any longer thanks to the stacking of the Supreme Court, the way that's going, and their desire to overturn marriage equality. That could happen, but at least we'll always have Haiku Friday. All right. thanks very much. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And I hate to get ranty on you. These are they're going to remain interesting times no matter who wins because these militia folks aren't going away, and on the other side of the coin, neither are the anti-fascist people who will be fighting the militia, the Nazi militia folks. So, man, it's what happened? What happened? All right. Ha 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 ha. Happy Haiku Friday. Bye.